My daughter Princess is 13 years old with cerebral palsy and hearing impairments. Out of personal experiences of the difficulties, the challenges of, I realized that this is it's everybody's journey. Like any other parent I'm meeting, whether it's a mother or a father, they're expressing the same needs that I had. And first of all, it started because I wanted to see where can I settle my child when I want to run my errands safely. And when I went to normal daycares for the typical children, I realized my child can't fit because she needs a lot of attention. She has special needs. And that came to my mind that there's that gap. Yeah, and we started it off with some parents, some 20 parents, as a support group. We used to meet, share experiences, and maybe we had all these wishes of having somewhere they can leave their children. And especially in Dandora, you see it's an informal settlement, and the surroundings also, we have the Korokocho slums, and all the income is low. Most of these parents feel like these children have disabled them so much, and they need at least somewhere they can settle their children or leave their children as they go to fend for them. Yeah, and this idea I think was the best to them. They can at least leave their children here. The kids will be attended for therapy. They'll be fed from here, and just general care. Yeah.
Okay, so before we even learn more about the institution, what it does, how long it's been running and all that, tell me about your journey. How was it like for you? You've talked about needs, challenges. What are some of those needs that came about taking care of your girl?
Taking care of my child, a child with cerebral palsy, it's quite handful. And sometimes there's this confusion stage of what the future holds, or even that moment holds for that child after diagnosis. My child was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at 6 months, and that's when I didn't know much about cerebral palsy. I thought it's just delayed milestones, and maybe after 2 years we'll be out of it, only to come and realize that years later we are still in it, and facing all the challenges with the therapy, having to pay for therapy sessions, or even covering long distances to go for therapy. Then maybe even when we get free therapy, especially from the government institutions, we are given very few sessions per month, maybe once or twice a month. So it became a very, very murky journey. And in our first few years, we had all this, the basics of life. That is the food, shelter, and clothing. And now addition of another basic need, that is the therapy, and also diapers. These children have all this dependence on diapers because of the challenges with communication. And even they are sitting, the delayed milestones, all these things come to create a very big problem, or rather burden to the parent. Yes.
So apart from the need of where you can leave your child in case you have errands to run, what are the needs that you shared with the other parents that brought about the institution coming up?
Once you're tied up with a child, it means you're not able to cover even the other basic life, the social life. You distance yourself with almost everybody, including family. You don't even have your own time for self-care. So that's when you realize, anyway, this child is more of, quote unquote, more of a burden, and it's disabling you. You lack the financial stability, you lack the social life, you also lack the emotional support. So one has all these problems, and this is something that was duplicated in my life. for quite some time. Yes.
So you're here, you've decided now to start the institution, you're 20 parents together. What next?
One, it's a journey also, because getting even the right place to set it up, from there, I think for me, I was lucky to have this vision, and I expressed the vision to my parents, and they were able to secure these premises for that. And they told me, okay, if this is what you want to do, then possibly that is the only way we can support you. So there was all that, equipping the place, having people to support is also a very big journey. That, and you know, it's a life dependency so long as that center is there. So gathering all that was very challenging, and at some point there was a lot of stagnation. Start this and then can't sustain for some time. So, and you don't have donors, you don't have people who are around you to support. And the parents are also not able to raise enough to even pay the caregivers, although the caregivers were still the parents of these children. And but they also need a way of sustaining their families, because they've dedicated their lives in taking care of other children. Yeah.
So what was the institution doing then, and is it the same thing now?
First, we started with diaper drives. We used to have monthly diaper drives, and then we transited to daycare. And for quite some time, we're now 9 years old. So for quite some time, for around 4 years, we only did the daycare. And then we started introducing therapy. But the therapies we were doing back then was based on recruiting parents to taking care of their own children therapeutically at home. Taking the therapy in, and now starting to say that now we can incorporate therapy sessions. Therapies are very expensive, just like the daycare, because you have to employ professionals who are well educated, and they have experience in dealing with these children. So, well, it's a journey also getting to where we are.
Okay, so you've talked about the parents doing the therapy themselves. How is that possible?
There are those basic that a parent should know about positioning the child at home, because some might not even know that placing a child maybe at the corner of a sofa set is doing more damage to the child. How to position them to avoid contractures and other deformities, secondary deformities. They have to be taught all this. They have to be taken to a journey. They have to be shown how to massage these children and how to do it correctly. So that is what these parents are taught. And even sometimes when we hold such trainings, we find positive feedback from the parents, and saying that since I started doing this, my child has improved in such a way that I wouldn't have known. And also teaching them or training them on the right assistive devices that should be acquired for every child. Cerebral palsy is more of positioning and coordination. So if you don't position the child right, they will have contractures, or what we call adapted deformities. So these parents have to be taught how to do the right thing for their children. And also, they have also to be taught about self-care. Other than taking care of their children, they should know that the stability of their own stability reflects much on the stability of the child. So all these are incorporated in the training, in the counseling, and also absorption of new diagnosed parents, and that is what we were doing back then. Yeah.
Susie, personally, when you're talking about positioning and contracture, you literally lost me, and I know my viewers would be equally lost. So I want you to explain further about that before we get back to the institution.
When I talk about positioning, we know the milestones of a child, how they start from the head control. At 3 months, your child typically should have a head control. But if a child doesn't have a head control, there are ways that you can try and achieve that through therapy. And if the child is positioned in a way, maybe bending, if, and every time they are put maybe at the corner seat, you see, like the way we put, we train kids how to sit, and we put them at the corner of the sofa set. They will have some deformities because they'll take that as their normal position. So, and that will end up having them maybe having
It will be permanent?
Yeah, it can be permanent, something we call scoliosis. That is the spine curving, maybe the muscles around the limbs becoming shorter. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Susie. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for. That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
So able to say that at least this institution has done something, and even the vulnerability levels that some parents came in here with, the poverty levels, the dependency levels, they are a bit elevated, and we feel that these are some of the things that we can say it has done as CEPAS. And we also have another program for mobility.
Before you even go into the programs, the children, what are some of the milestones you see?
For the children, let me see, cerebral palsy is not a one-tap condition. It takes a lot of time. You can even go for a whole year without somebody telling you, my child learned this or this. Our focal point first, before we even go to the child, the focal point is always on the caregiver. Because as I said, and I always say, the stability of the caregiver reflects on the child. So for some of the children who have been coming for therapy, some of them, depending on severity of the condition, they improve. If well managed with the therapy, they improve, depending on also if the child is being brought for therapy. We've seen a lot of children even gaining contact that they did not even have. Some get used to being left alone. The dependence of the parent is not there. Yes, and also the social life. So we are able to monitor even the child, how the children are doing, if they are improving on either aspect. And if one can also go to school, we've been able to send some who came here maybe they were young, and then some go to school. We do not do placement of schools, but we recommend where they can go for placements. Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about the programs. I know you mentioned about daycare, but it's been 9 years. I'm sure you've been able to incorporate other programs as well.
Yeah. Other than the daycare and the therapy, and also the trainings of the tailoring skills, we also have mobility mashinani. As much as we are a community-based organization, we have people reaching out from the rurals very far, countrywide actually, and saying, I need a wheelchair, my child is like this, or somebody saying, my neighbor's child is always locked in the house. And when you go to find out why is this child locked, it's because they don't have assistive devices like wheelchairs. So we introduced mobility mashinani to reach out to those children in the rural. And also we set up a workshop for fabrication of wheelchairs and other assistive devices. Actually, most of the devices you'll see here, they are made from our workshop. And our workshop is located at Mountain View. So it's not around here, but we have expertise in that area who can fabricate after the assessment of every child who needs whatever they need, maybe a standing aid, a sitting aid, whichever assistive device.
Okay, so what are some of the devices you're making there?
We have standing aids, sitting aids, wheelchairs, hospital beds, shower beds. All these devices are made from there. Yes.
So if a child wants to be part of the institution, or a parent and a child wants to join the institution, what is the process like? And then how many members do you have?
We have two processes of admission. One, if they're being admitted either for therapy only, or for both, or for daycare only. The only way is just, so long as you know the location, you just walk in and do your inquiries. And then we have the other one, which is absorption for newly diagnosed. If your child has been diagnosed newly, we have some way of going to the hospitals and getting those statistics and saying, if you have this child and you've diagnosed them, we want to absorb that caregiver first, so that we can walk the journey with them, because we know the process is not easy up to the acceptance. So for them not to fall into depression and even saying they don't know where to go to, they don't know what next, let me say we are the exit plan.
Okay. I don't know how long because you've talked about those who are joining. You've talked about kids who are going to school after going through the programs here. So how long does a child, how long are they part of the program? Is there like a period where you get to this point, then now you're allowed to be on your own? How does that work?
Well, a child is a child up to 17 years. So when they get to adulthood, depending on their capability, if they have something they can do with their hands, with anything, we look for institutions that can absorb them back for maybe talent, all this. But if they are not able to, again, they go back to their families. Maybe other things that they can be supported with when they're at home, maybe things like diapers or food stuff in a feeding program. But as long as they are under 18, they can be accommodated here. Although, again, we'll be limited by our space. There are so many who would want to be here. We don't really have a criteria of telling someone, you cannot come here. But we tell them, right now, we are at capacity.
No, I get that, but I want to know how long, for the 9 years, do you have a child who's been with you for a whole 9 years? Or is it that you go through the program maybe for 1 year and then you allow others to get the chance?
Well, there are those who've been here long. One, we said that we measure the vulnerability levels of the families, the need that there is, and the progress they are making in life. Because there are some, there are some who stay longer in a situation, depending on their ways of income and all. And also, these are just settlements that are rental. Some might even go to other places, live other places. But if they are here, we have others who want to be here and you've been served along. We also look for ways of coming up with ways of supporting you from where you are. And that is why we have the training, the skill training. If someone is not able to be here, they come, we do an exit plan, like how to sustain them outside. If you have tailoring skills or you are trained, then you can have a machine, can be porter machine, and then you will do your business from outside.
How many, what is your capacity like? How many kids do you have at this point? And then do you have a time where you do enroll? Is there like a specified period?
We don't have a specified period because these children are not under a curriculum. We don't have like our intake is in January. No, possibly last week we did not have a neighbor who has a child with CP, and this week we have. Where do they go? They'll just come here. So we don't have that. But our capacity here and the maximum we can take is between 15 to 18.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that is only for the daycare,
Yeah.
but for therapy is between 20 and 30.
And these are kids of all age groups?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. You've talked about some of the people who come here who are in low-income neighborhoods who cannot afford. So I don't know, do you charge for the services, or how are you able to sustain the operations?
Our sustainability is basically based on the sale of the assistive devices we do, because the proceeds, those wheelchairs and assistive devices, we do not give out for free. We sell them. If the parent is not able to buy them, we get maybe a well-wisher who can buy for the parent, for that child, so that all the proceeds again come to support the center. So that is one way of our own sustainability. And then we have the mattress covers that we make. We also sell them for the same purpose. And for the parents, they don't pay anything. Those who pay are only those who are on transport, those who have their children picked and brought to the center. Yes.
Okay. Talk to me about the challenges.
Of
I'm
course,
sure they're not lacking.
Of course, the needs are there, and where there are needs, there are challenges. Sustainability goes with the wave of business. And you see, like the assistive devices that we sell, they're not like food stuff that everybody needs. So if we were not able to get a good sale for them, or even the business is down, then again, on our other side, we start going down. And I would tell you there are sometimes that you feel like, I want to close this place because I am no longer able to sustain, no longer able to buy those food for the children here, pay the workers, and everything that is being done here. So you have to work so hard, maybe for outreach, mobilization, resource mobilization. And it's not easy, because if also to whoever you're going to, their business is not doing good, again you go down. So there's so many challenges, and also the expectations of even the parents, the people who are depending on this institution. They also have expectations that they see these places, the only place they can come and say, I don't have medicines, I don't have diapers. So there's a lot of expectations from them. Can you solve our problem? This one is one of the places that even if somebody is not coming from around, they would want, maybe I want a wheelchair. If you went to our inbox, you will realize it's too much to ask. But these challenges, I believe with support out there, we are able to overcome them. And anybody would support a cause, would want to support such a noble cause is welcome. Yes.
Just briefly, because we are running out of time and we need to wrap it up, 5 years from now, where do you see the institution and what is your parting shots?
This institution will be possibly this one and another one, because we have so many who need such an institution. And our upcoming, or the project that is in the cooking right now, is how we can have a recreation park for the children, so that we can have accommodation and inclusivity for children with disabilities. I would also want to say that cerebral palsy is just a condition. And if you find yourself in that situation, just know you're not alone. There are so many people who are in the same circle, who would give you support. Do not tire. As a parent out there, do not tire taking care of your own child, because every day I say love wins at the end of the day. Yes.
Okay, Susie, where can our viewers get you? What's the location of the institution? Do you have a contact?
We are located at Dandora Phase 1, just near the Dandora Police Station. And you can find us on Facebook as Cerebral Palsy Space. And even on my personal account, Susie was Cerebral Palsy. And we have contacts too, 0722 956574. We also have a pay bill for somebody who would want to support. Our pay bill is 429733, and account is CEPAS. Pay bill is 40